Hades 2 review scores are out in the wild, and it looks like we have a bona fide game of the year contender here because this is the best rated new game release of 2025 with a 94 score average on the Nintendo Switch 2 so far, with around 30 or so reviews. On PC, it's at a 96 average with around 18 reviews, and reviews are pouring in as we speak. But yes, this is definitely looking like it's going to be a 93 plus rated type of game when all of the dust settles, at least on the Nintendo Switch 2. It could be higher than that on the PC when everything goes through. So this is definitely awesome to see. So in this video, we are going to break down all of the scores and kind of get to the bottom of what makes Hades 2 one of the best games of the year, and it's looking like one of the better games in the last 5 years or so that's been released. So remember, guys, just for those who don't know, Hades 2, it's out on September 25th when it comes to Nintendo Switch 2 and also Nintendo Switch 1 and PC. But there will be a physical edition on the Nintendo Switch 2 that's released on November 20th, and it seems like Nintendo is handling that. However, it is going to be $20 more than the digital edition. So if you want it digitally, it's $30. If you want it physical on the Nintendo Switch 1/2, because it comes in a combo cart, that is going to be $50. Okay, let's jump into the reviews here. 30 plus scores, all 100% positive, 0 mixed, 0 negative. Let's start off with Loot Level Chill. 10 out of 10, saying the best roguelite of recent years. Hades 2 will repeatedly beat you down, but leave you grasping, desperate for more, with hours of frenetic gameplay, beautifully wrapped in spectacular graphics, captivating voice acting, and an incredible soundtrack. Hell has never looked nor felt so fantastic at this. Noisy Pixel, 10 out of 10, says Hades 2 on Switch 2 delivers a masterclass in roguelike design, expanding on its predecessor with a darker tone, richer character arcs, and deeper mechanical systems. Supergiant Games refines the formula with a compelling new protagonist, rewarding exploration, and an ambitious progression loop that keeps each run fresh and addictive. Restart.Run, 10 out of 10, says despite being an iterative sequel, Hades 2 improves upon its predecessor in every way that matters, making it one of the best action roguelites out there. Power Unlimited, 10 out of 10. Hades 2 improves on its already near perfect predecessor in every way. It deepens the delightful formula with more variety, countless surprises, and even more beautiful environments, and a flawless sense of progression. A roguelite with this much variety is an unprecedented achievement. Perfection has been perfected. Atomics, 10 out of 10. More than a sequel, Hades 2 is a testament to the talent of Supergiant Games. The studio has once again proven that there's no one like them in the industry. Hades 2 is not only one of the best roguelites in recent years, but it's also one of the best games of 2025, demonstrating the talent in the indie scene and the potential the genre holds. IGN, 10 out of 10, saying, how do you even sum up something as beautiful, special, memorable, and admirable as Hades 2? There is no one out there doing what Supergiant does as well as it does. And this exceptional action roguelite is some of the team's best work on nearly every level, which is astonishingly high bar to clear. It's the type of video game that reminds me why I love video games so damn much. The art is breathtaking, the characters are captivating, the combat is fast, fun, and endlessly varied and tactical, and the music is spectacular. May Moonlight guide us. Eurogamer, 10 out of 10. Maybe it's witchcraft, maybe it's magic. Either way, Supergiant manages to draw down the moon with its Herculean action and epic narrative in Hades 2. The Gamer, 10 out of 10. While you're experiencing a grand journey across an upcoming depiction of Greek mythology, it is the small moments in Hades 2 that shine brightest. Intimate conversations between old friends and bittersweet reunions with long post family members as the moon of Selene hangs daintily overhead. putting aside slaughtering demons and becoming a witch so powerful that not even the titans can stop you. These are what make Hades 2 so special. If Supergiant is now destined to leave this universe behind, it goes out on the highest note possible. Video Gamer 10 out of 10, saying the world is more gorgeous than ever and it's a joy to be able to make a return. Hades 2 stands as a worthy sequel and competition to the original, both of which stand together as brother and sister. Gaming Bible 10 out of 10, Dexterdo 10 out of 10, DualShockers 10 out of 10, and here's what they had to say. Topping the original Hades was a damn near impossible feat, but Supergiant Games pulled it off. While it still has some of the accessibility issues of its predecessor, Hades 2 manages to improve upon the combat, world building, and content of the first game. Melano's journey stand out. It may not surprise or shock Hades fans with originality, but it upped the stakes in a way that makes it a must-play game. Gfinity also with the last 10 out of 10 here recorded so far. More scores are coming in. Now, Destructoid, they start off with the highest 9 out of 10 score overall, giving it a 9.5 out of 10, and says it feels like Hades really kicked off the trend of the plethora of action roguelites that have come after it, but I've yet to find one that surpasses this series. On the first game's promise by refining its systems, adding even more content, and telling another engaging story with brilliantly acted and interesting characters from Greek mythology. It's a must-play game, especially on the Switch 2. All right, Gaming Trend, 9.5 out of 10, saying this: Hades is an absolute blast from moment one and only gets better from there. Everything from the dialogue to the music, visuals, combat, and build possibilities feels polished to a mirror sheen. It's going to take you a long time to even reach the depths of Hades or the peak of Olympus, but when you finally do, you'll get hooked all over again. CG Magazine 9.5 out of 10 and says Hades 2 marks the first sequel done by Supergiant Games, one that takes the beloved essence of the original and bewitches it with all the right elements indicative of a stellar roguelike sequel. Hobby Consolas 9.5 out of 10, Press Start Australia 9.5 out of 10, Game Reactor Denmark 9 out of 10, Checkpoint Gaming 9 out of 10, Nintendo 9 out of 10, Nintendo World Report 9 out of 10. Let's read what they had to say on this incredible sequel. It will take me dozens more hours to see all of what Hades 2 has to offer, and that's not even considering some specific endgame challenges it adds after you complete your first run. I am fully invested in squeezing all of the story juice from this delicious fruit, and it's primarily due to how masterful the gameplay feels. Moving, dashing, attacking, and casting are all incredibly satisfying, and it's rare to see any video game so skillfully combine gameplay with aesthetics and story. Without a doubt, Hades 2 lives up to its predecessor and surpasses it in a number of ways. While it can at times be overwhelming in terms of collectibles and crafting materials, there are also so many ways to enjoy the experience through options like God Mode and Aim Assist, or just grinding out in-game achievements and other unlockables. Ultimately, my first complete run through Hades signaled the end of my time with that game, but for the sequel, it felt like I was just getting started, and I have to actually agree with that because that's what happened to me with Hades 1. Once I beat that game one time, I was like, yo, I am good. I am out of here. But I think based off what people are saying here, there's a lot to really look through when it comes down to this. PC Mag 9 out of 10, Retcon 9 out of 10, Slant Magazine 9 out of 10, Mary Station 9 out of 10, RPG Fan 9 out of 10. Let's read what they had to say as well. So does Hades 2 live up to the original? Absolutely. It retains much of what made the first title great while offering a different kind of gameplay. With Hades 2, Supergiant Games proves that even Zeus can't claim a monopoly on lightning striking twice. All right, 8 out of 10 scores. Inverse 8 out of 10, Metro Game Central 8 out of 10, VGC 8 out of 10, and this is the lowest score recorded so far as of the time that I am making this video. They said this about the game: As a sequel, Hades 2 is ambitious and delivers one of the most satisfying roguelike experiences in years, yet it can't escape the shadow of its predecessor, and in trying to add every idea possible to amplify its scale, the story ends up losing the trademark weight of the studio. So I can understand that. Maybe they kind of got lost in a little bit of the gameplay sauce overall with all of that, and maybe it wasn't quite as focused as they would have liked for this sequel. So definitely exciting to see how good the reviews are here, and it almost seems like this indie game upstaged the indie game that everyone's been waiting for nearly a decade with Hollow Knight Silksong. It's got better scores right now at this point. Now there still are more reviews coming in for Hades 2, so we'll see if that score goes up or down. Right now, Hollow Knight Silksong is right around a 92, 91. It's kind of teetering between those type of scores, but I don't think anybody felt that Hades 2 was going to come in and kind of supplant it in the scores. So I think that having a game like Hollow Knight Silksong and Hades 2 from the top of the line indie developers be in the top of the game of the year discussion is definitely a good thing, and shows that there are a bunch of great developers that are very talented, big and small across the board. But Hades 2 is looking really good so far, and it looks like it does surpass the original in pretty much every single way for the most part. So in my opinion, when you're looking at the Nintendo Switch 2 overall, at least, and you're kind of comparing what it's getting compared to other things, I think this is one of the reasons why Nintendo felt that they needed to kind of clear out September, was because they had a banger on their hands, even going as far as to publishing and paying for the physical edition of the game. They had the creator's voice on Hades 2 as well, so Nintendo had a ton of confidence in this game, and you're seeing it kind of pay off with these incredible scores. I think obviously with the Nintendo Switch 2, you get the 120 FPS in docked play, plus you get a crisp and great frame rate overall, so this is definitely good. Looks like HD Rumble 2 is back in the mix as well. But will people at the end of the year say that Hades 2 is actually a better game than Hollow Knight Silksong once we actually get people playing? Now obviously it probably won't sell as much as Hollow Knight Silksong, and there's probably going to be a lot more fans of Team Cherry, and the game is a bit cheaper. It's $20 compared to $30 or $50 for a physical. Hollow Knight's getting a physical later, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see nonetheless. There's usually at least one indie nod at the Game of the Year awards with Jeff Keighley, and most places will do at least one indie nod unless there's an overwhelming amount of AAA games that score well. Now this year there are a bunch of great games, but there are not an overwhelming amount of AAA games that are scoring in the mid 90s or in the low 90s. We actually have indie games like Hades 2 and Hollow Knight Silksong that are up there with the biggest games like Clair Obscur. That's not the biggest AAA game out there considering the team size and all that, although it is a bigger game than, let's say, Hades overall, looking at graphically, or Hollow Knight. But yeah, man, this year is the year of the smaller teams getting it done and scoring big, and we could see multiple representatives of smaller development studios in the Game of the Year awards. Imagine if Silksong, in addition to Hades 2 and of course Clair Obscur, all of them make it. That is half of the Game of the Year slots, because there's usually 6 places there. So Donkey Kong Bonanza is probably going to be there as well. So what else is going to make it? We got to see how Ghost of Yotei actually works out when it comes to the review scores. That's going to be out soon. That's getting reviewed as well. So man, it is a stacked and incredible year overall. And for me, at least, with the Nintendo Switch 2 launching this year, having something like Hollow Knight Silksong, Trails in the Sky, in addition to Hades 2, pretty much all back to back to back, that to me makes the third-party support significantly better than the Nintendo Switch 1 could have ever dreamed of, in addition to getting a bunch of first-party games as well, like Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Metroid Prime 4, Kirby Air Riders, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, and Pokemon Legends ZA, which is coming out next month, man. So it is incredible to see all of these games kind of all cooking on this level, and once again, it is going to be a fight towards the end of the year. I still think Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is the favorite heading into this, even with these great review scores, just because Hades 2 is more iterative than it is a revolution of a sequel. But at the same time, you never know. If Hades 2 got a nomination, that would just be massive overall. And once again, for right now, and it's a console exclusive, it will come over to Xbox and PlayStation later down the line, but Nintendo does have some type of console exclusive deal with it, at least maybe for the first year. So maybe next year we'll see something, or maybe later in the year we'll see some type of announcement. But Nintendo is publishing it on Switch 1 and Switch 2 with a cart that you can pick up and play on either system. And of course, it's on PC as well, so you can pick it up there if you want it on that. So very good overall. Excited to see what people think about this game. I'll be picking up the game myself. There's just so many titles to play, but yeah, I'll definitely be picking this up and streaming it as well. So what do you guys think about the critical reviews of Hades 2 and it inserting itself into the Game of the Year discussion? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch 2 RPG content and more right here on screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.